Recording is on. Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the very first day of Manila in the Hibiscus PTG. So yesterday we already had a couple um, discussions, but cross project we had a discussion with the Nova team on Retail OFS. Talked about the testing, our plans for attachment, and live and cold migration. So if you are interested in that discussion, please check the OpenStack Nova PTG Etherpad. There was a very nice discussion, and it was pretty. We ended up with some very nice action items out of it. That said, I think we can get started with our agenda for today's retrospective, and I think we can start with some data on the previous cycle. Honestly, so previous cycle was really encouraging in terms of numbers. I think I already shared that in the presentation we did for the Open for Live. So the Open for Live featured a lot of things. One of them being, like we kind of did some record-breaking numbers in terms of closing bugs, and also, like the amount of features that we managed to get in for the previous release, which were all like high points of the previous release. I think we still need to talk about our bugs and the stats that we have been trying to fight against, trying to get as many bugs closed as possible during the release cycle, and we know that is a bit tricky. And to help with some numbers, Vida started slide deck with some nice information on how are we doing with regards to our bugs. So Vida, would you like to share some thoughts on this?
Um, sure. We can start with the first slide. I can just build up some background. So, as you guys know, in previous PTGs, the Bugzar report was primarily static. Uh, we started with the bug counts and how many was fixed in bug squashes and so forth. So, in this cycle, I started basically designing some AI tools to generate these. Uh, Bar charts and line charts to help us digest the data and see basically the trends, how we're doing from basically at the start and end and in between the PTG cycle. So if Carlos, if you can switch back to the first slide, which was a bar chart,
Oh, I think
I
this
can.
is. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of progressive. The first data that I wanted to collect and show you is the bug arrival, how many bugs we've had coming in according to the priority, right? So if you look at, for example, this the uh, chart for the March, you'll see that there was a high, medium, low, and undecided. How many bugs came in? And prior to that, in February, you can see this huge jump, right? Three new bugs to 23, and then in April, 30, total of 30 new bugs that came in. And I see that, Carlos, you're smiling. This was due to new contributors that we had. And you can see how powerful our responses when we have the new contributors come in. Carlos, would you like to kind of help us analyze give us a little background behind these new contributors, just so the community understands it?
Yeah. So most of these bugs reports that came in, they are pretty much our team trying to be creative. Got them found a couple of ways to look at issues in the current implementation and create low hanging fruit bugs, which are really important when you have new people joining the team. So yeah, if most of this list on undecided and low, they are really due to us trying to make up some not make up but find some good low hanging fruit bugs for people having their very first contribution in OpenStack Manila. and that's pretty much what happened here. So the trend started increasing, but we needed that because we were going through the contribution phase of outreach, which is something that we try to do. We try to mentor outreach as often as we can, and yeah, it has a couple of phases, and one of them is the contribution phase. And then in the contribution phase, what we decided we would do is we would ask the applicants to find a low-hanging fruit bug, and yeah, that's pretty much the whole story behind it, behind why we needed to create so many low-hanging fruit bugs. But yeah, that's pretty much why this spiked from I don't know, 1 month to another, and a bunch of these issues already have bug fixes in progress for them. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, we've used the word tsunami, but this is a good spike to have. And I think helping us go back and reclassify some of those dock bugs and reclassify them as low-hanging fruit, that was really good. And please go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this particular slide is the other end of the new bugs that come in. This shows the bug fixes. So as you can see, the trend was pretty low numbers up until March when we had those additional community contributors, the outreach that came in. And there was a surge in new bugs, but also there was a surge in bugs fixed in March and April. Next slide, please. So this chart, this graph actually shows the incoming versus outgoing, right? So new bugs versus fixes. And you can see in March, for example, 27 bugs and 23 bugs and 27 fixes, right? So despite the high fix count, there's still the surge of new bugs coming in, and in April you can see the totals. So this is basically the burn down chart, what we call the burn down graph of how we're doing with open bugs versus merged or fixed bugs. Next slide, please. So this trend behind the background, basically, I've been slicing and dicing the Launchpad, basically the bug counts, and a lot of that helps decide how we approach the hackathons and the bug squash instead of let's say this bug squash the trend is to work on stale bugs or to work in progress fixed bugs. So this kind of trend helps analyze and understand how we're doing in terms of backlog. And you can see from over the last 6 months, even though we had like big surges in new bugs, the trend is kind of steady. It hasn't really jumped too much, and that's because of the previous graph that you saw, the incoming versus outgoing. We're got new bugs, but we're also closing bugs. So that's really good. We'd like to see this graph to go down, but steady is pretty much, considering the volumes we've had, isn't too bad. Next one, please. So this is how we decide. This graph basically shows the number of in progress bugs per month. And if you look at March, we had 63 in progress. In April, we have 91. So there's been a lot of fixes that's coming in. And again, these kind of trends help us decide how we're going to basically approach our bug squash and community effort to bring the backlog down. So all reviews are welcome, as you guys know. And this is right now. This is for Project Manila. The reason is that all the stats for the 3 projects would be um, too much data to share. So I've kind of limited to just Manila, and it's plenty of information that you can see what's going on with the community contributions. Next slide, please.
Oh, I think this is the last one.
Oh, you skipped open. Oh, okay, yeah, good. So as you can tell, this kind of analysis and trend analysis basically adds up to the quality metrics overall that we kind of track for Manila, and it helps us hopefully improve the quality over time. And again, these tools are kind of new. I've been working with them since the last PTG, and input is welcome. If you guys have any questions or want to comment, just reach out. We'd be glad to have a chat. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. This is really helpful. It's nice to visualize all of the data like that. So thanks for putting it together and also for working on the tools to make this something that you can generate. So yeah, I'd say we need the reviews on this, and we are, of course, our bug backlog trend is growing, but we understand the reasons why. And if we look at this other slides, like we until March we closed more bugs than we opened, but then I think this early April thing or April thing is pretty much us also getting ready for PTG and people needing to deal with other priorities. So at the end, we know that we do have a lot of bugs that are low hanging fruit or that are a result of the outreachy or other new contributors coming in and trying to help us. So at the end, I do believe that maybe we can have something like an event for reviewing these changes, trying to get some good progress on them, an early bug squash focused on reviews, or just like something that that's solely focused on reviews, not only for the bugs. So that's pretty much something that it's an approach we have used in the past, and I do think this can be helpful in this case. We'll definitely get a lot of these fixes merged because, as I said, like this is something a lot of these fixes they are really minor. They are documentation related, or they are API ref related. So I think it might make sense for us to attempt that approach. Like try scheduling an event earlier in the cycle, try to get this trend fixed, and seeing more outgoing than incoming bugs. What do you guys think about that?
Definitely sounds good. I think the numbers speak volumes, and so on the other side of this, we used to generate the bug squash list and the IRC call triage list, pretty much using macros and so forth, other tools. And now all those are AI generated. I've developed basically skills to develop all these, and it's kind of a push button at this stage. So the productivity has been um, major increase in productivity and readiness for our like management. So it's been a great experience using these tools and developing them. And thanks, Carlos.
Yep, thank you.
Hey there. So yeah, this is really good progress as a team as well as on the triage front. So it's pretty cool. It's a great use of these different tools to try and give us some more data into how we're progressing and kind of keep us honest, accountable through the bug uh, intake process. So I just had a couple of observations on this. One is that I think I mean, the last slide was showing us that we're sitting on a massive backlog of bugs. A lot of them we've not looked at in a long time. It's the same kind of problem we have with the reviews, that we have a lot of reviews that we could just close out because they're small. They just need like a concerted effort. I think we have the same need for even these old bugs. In the past, we've spoken about expiring bugs. There are a lot of things that are probably never looked at, and maybe in the recent supported releases that problem doesn't exist, right? So these bugs are really invalid now, and or maybe there was some fix or workaround that just never got updated on the bug report itself. And so that's why it's sitting there, and that increases the noise that we have. So I would, like, I guess, try to use these tools again to reduce that backlog, make it bring it down to a low enough number that it starts becoming everybody's interesting data point, rather than, oh, it's quite overwhelming right now to look at that number, and we just keep skimming off the top, right? Because we're going to keep focusing on incoming bugs, and maybe once in a while we're bringing things. I mean, Vida does this where, if there are no incoming bugs or there are less incoming bugs, we kind of pull from the backlog, and see what, if something is like, you know, stagnated out there. But we can't realistically get to that, get that number down during these weekly bug triage calls, I think. um, so that's my take on this. I feel like it does make sense to just kind of reduce that three-digit number to lower two digits, if I can, if we really need a good situation, or even, as much as possible.
Yeah, agreed. So there's Carlos, if you switch to the last, I just added another chart there, which shows the stale bug trend, and it's a little depressing, but it's a fact. Over time, so most of these stale bugs actually they've been, they have updates on them. A lot of them have updates on them, but not necessarily resolution, right? Updates. So we've been peppering them in like three, five, six, depending on the books. The During the weekly ARC call, how much time we have for bugs. So we've been addressing them, but as you can see, I mean, it's the trend isn't good, so it's not going down; it's increasing, and at some point, Gotham, I think we started even bulk updating these, but that hasn't helped much. So that still remains to be a challenge. I know some of the other projects might have just gone in and closed these bugs, but we're doing due diligence, right? We're reviewing them and deciding uh, to how to provision them. So it hasn't been bulk like some of the other projects that we know. But yeah, that is definitely there, and um, the trend hasn't been going down. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we could do is, I don't know. I mean, we've been a little aggressive towards the very, very old bugs, and we know that those things are just not the community's priority, right? So if something is open for like 6 or 7 years, and it's not addressed, then it's just not really a popular bug, and it's probably not even a bug, because it's probably an RFE just filed as a bug kind of thing, and just that it's just not in the priority stack.
Yep.
right.
So maybe those sort of things we can clean up. And we've been doing it very slowly, but I was saying, let's just the hackathon idea of doing you know low hanging fruits, or get making progress or in progress bugs. We should probably do a review checkpoint on the triage also. It probably doesn't need everybody, but let's say we have, we could divide and conquer, and we could chat async, or whatever, and try to make progress within 1 week, like some sort of a time box like that.
Yeah. And we already did this, right? I know last PTG we
Yeah,
said we'll have a aggressive approach, and we tried
yeah,
this.
yeah.
The three or four of us reviewed 1 week, and we did. So, so maybe we need to like step up the aggressive,
Mhm.
sort of,
Yeah,
in this
the difference
PTG,
is that we now have, like, some more handy tools, right?
right?
As opposed to last time, where we were probably having to look through and study the code, etc. Now we could probably set out some agents out there to do this, and do a report that we can then triage stuff for.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, go act on the bug itself, but at least do some background research that would have taken us quite some time,
Hmm.
because a lot of the times that things are very obvious. We just haven't looked at them because we just don't have the time.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds
and
good.
this is the sort of thing that I think
Sure.
should be automated.
So what do you think about I'll generate the list and then maybe you can divvy it up and use agents, skills, whatever we have to review them, generate a report, and we can review the reports and you know just go
Yeah,
from there. Does that sound like a good plan?
sounds good.
Yeah,
Yep.
sounds good. And if we can slot it into the into our plans for this cycle.
Absolutely. Sure. Sounds good. So we'll do that. Thanks for your feedback, Gautam.
Thank you.
Can I add you to that action item, Vida?
Sure. I'll take it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, yeah. So really good discussion. Thank you, everyone. I do think, yeah. Do you have something else to add in terms of bug and also how and the metrics for the previous cycle before we dive into the next topic?
Pretty much, I think the information can be extracted from the bar charts and graphs. But if anybody has any questions specifically, please do share, reach out. And I did want to mention that the bug squash stats were really excellent, and we at least had north of 10 plus fixes that came out of it. So um, I think if we could continue to schedule 2 bug squashes per cycle, that's ideal because as you can see, there's at least 2 areas, the work in progress and cell bugs, um, areas that can really use some push and contributions. So that's all I have. Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, awesome. I think that wraps this topic, and I think we can now go into our regular retro parts, or the other parts that we do in the retro, which is filling up things that we think went well, what we think needs improvement, and action items, and taking action items for the upcoming cycle. So yeah, maybe we can take, I don't know, 5 minutes. I see folks have been already adding things there. That's why I'm suggesting a smaller window. Usually we would then do like 10 or something. Uh, 5 minutes sounds good to everyone. Right. I'll stop sharing briefly and then I'll resume screen sharing in 5 minutes. And yeah, let's add some topics to the retro. right. I do apologize for the short time window. Maybe in the future we should, I don't know, try to have 1.5 slots for retrospective or something. But yeah, let's get back to the Etherpad. We can always keep adding things while we are talking. But yeah, let me do this screen sharing again. And let's go through, start through things that went well. Um, yeah, so two items I've added in the beginning. First one of them is new cars. Yeah, it's really nice to see more people being interested into becoming cars. And we would like to let you know that we do encourage that as well. To be completely honest, we love that people are participating, and we said this like, I don't know, 100 times already, but it really helps with the whole overall health of the project. And it helps with making sure that reviewers are not also burned out during the critical phases of the release. It helps sharing the load with reviews and all of that project maintenance. So it's really nice. And I particularly, I don't know, like the two additions we made to great contributors, Anup and Maurice. So yeah, I really like that this happened, and I would like to keep this open again. Like if you are interested on this, please don't hesitate to reach us out, and we can help you. We did, and we do this all the time. We try to do some sort of a mentoring process until we get the person to the core team. That insists on that is pretty much something that we'll try to get you to review the codes that we expect a core reviewer to know, that we expect the core reviewer to have some domain over. So all that said, really nice to have new cores in the team, and I do hope that this works as an incentive for other people to also step up and join the core team if like the project is the project always needs that, and it's really nice when people step up and are committed to this. So really nice. Thank you. Any thoughts? Any other thoughts on that?
No, just in support. Yeah, I don't know whether Anoop's here and Maurice is not here either today, but I think they did some great work over the last cycle and even before that. So it was really nice to see that. You know, we kept asking for some more review help, and it was reciprocated. So that part was really nice. I think it is healthy for the community as well to keep adding more course, so we don't really hemorrhage on reviewers uh, bandwidth, right? So that comes at a very big premium at the very end of the cycle, leads to disappointments because we have some patches that are probably being worked on with no review attention, and that just is a bad thing for both continued contributions as well as somebody that's coming by and dropping in a change that they think is going to help them and the community as well. So I like the general direction that this is taking. I just wanted to ask though that last time we discussed this, I wanted to. I mean, we thought we would benefit from having two reviewer groups, uh, and this is sort of a trend in other OpenStack projects as well. I mean, it was started in the OpenStack SDK and CLI landscape, but they had a +2 group. So basically, a lot of people that could review and say this code looks good, but a smaller number of people that would then be able to do the +1 workflow along with +2. So it kind of meant that more people would be accountable and take ownership for the code base. And in some sense, it also meant, it would motivate people to do that. It would give them a ramp to become like a full maintainer as well. So I don't know if we still need that, if there are people that are interested.
Yeah, we discussed that in the previous retrospective, yes, and I do. I think we were also talking about the way, like we were feeling overwhelmed with the reviews and that we needed more reviewers. Through the cycle, we worked with trying to get new people on board of the core team. So yeah, basically, I think we mentioned that yes, it would be nice. I was also watching how the other teams were doing it and if there was an improvement. I think Ironic did this, and a couple of other project teams did as well. But yeah, I think I was throughout the cycle, I was though focused on adding the new core members to the team, and yeah, um, I would still love to hear if there is still interest on that, though, considering that we have added a couple of new core members. Um, we need to think also on the driver maintenance or something like that. We can try to have, I don't know, some liaisons responsible for driver code, something like that. That could be also a thing. But yeah, that's pretty much where my mind was in the previous cycle, and that's why I didn't actually do a lot on moving us to that sort of a model. I was trying to look how this was going to happen and see if yes, this could be a good fit, considering that we are still actively working on adding more people to the core team.
Just a thought here. Um, so I know some of us are using AI-assisted code reviews. So if you're a core member, it's not an issue. You just vote. But if looking at a project that you're not core, would there be any advantage of course, do the plus one if you can, but do an analysis, code review analysis, and maybe just paste a summary of some sort that these um, aspects of the code were verified. Just annotate a comment with a plus one. Would there be any value in that, just so that people know you've looked at it with a tool and done the analysis, done your personal due diligence, and just post it there, just so people can see there was some work done on it? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think reviews are really helpful, and yeah, some of us might be even using these tools to try to post the reviews. But I think the one of the most important parts of what you said is we need to ensure that the human in the loop is also looking at the comments that the tool is producing, so that otherwise we'll start creating more time of back and forth
Right.
between like the author and the reviewer, and then yeah, we just need to ensure that the comment is valid, um, or not saying valid, but like if it applies, if it respects the context, if it has like the whole thing, the code base. But yes, I do agree that I do believe that like these
Mm,
code reviews, they can also be helpful. um, yeah,
sure.
it's were you asking that also in kind of becoming car path or something like that, or only a matter of the reviews in this case?
Um, yeah, mostly the reviews because, um, like I said, I excluded the core, right? The core members because they pretty much rely on their reviews for approval and so forth. But as an example, I developed the AI agent to review the OSC patches, and I shared the criteria, what the past criteria was with you, and that kind of helped understand what was being verified, right? So when I did a plus one on a patch set, that kind of clarified to you that these checks were done, functional tests were done. So some I think confidence that this plus one, it means these checks were actually passed.
Yep.
Um, so not just a plus one, right? The idea is you explain what was tested, what your agent did, and give the confidence check that people can look for others, maybe other aspects of the patch set, or just quickly review it. But quantify your plus one by having the criteria that was um, verified.
Yep.
Hey, I have a different take on this, Vida. I think um, it's helpful as always. Like I mean, I'll start with what Carlos said himself too, that plus one reviews are always helpful anywhere in OpenStack, and definitely in Manila repos. It gives us as maintainers some sort of confidence that there are other people also looking at this, and they've reviewed parts of this and such. So that plus one or minus one, certainly helpful, and it's a good starting point for anybody that's looking to become a maintainer, right? You would start by reviewing all of the code and giving us your perspectives and so on. The use of the tools, that's always, I mean, that's something that you were doing before, and you're probably doing that now with different things. So as long as you're using these tools and expressing your own um, uh, take on them, on their outputs, that's totally fine, and probably something we should encourage, because I mean, in many cases these can be very helpful. I mean, depending on when you're doing the review or how many passes you're going through it, it's very good, good chance that a lot of the conventions or minor details that we can't really verify on the CI are being glossed over by our human eyes, whereas
Mhm.
something that's going through them programmatically is probably doing a little thorough of a job at it or something, arguably. But that said, I mean, you are the reviewer, not the tool. So the tool is just
Absolutely.
helping you with the review, and so
Right.
it's as good as what you were doing before, as in you're expressing your domain expertise through that review. So I like the part that you said that I could contribute by testing some aspects of this, and my perspective on this would be expressed through that review. That's exactly what we're looking for. So let's say you're an API expert, and maybe your view on this is probably complementary or even a little bit deeper than what the maintainers themselves know about it. So that's super useful, right? And especially if you're coding that into your review, that's the sort of thing that will give us a boost in confidence when we are approving or disapproving of a patch.
Right. So, yes, you are ultimately the reviewer and the approver, and we all know about the AI slop. So, at this stage, um, but I think my point was when I see a plus one, just a plus one, it doesn't really tell me if they actually, or if let's say, doesn't tell you if I did a full review or how much of it did I review. But if I quantify it and maybe add a little detail. Okay, this was actually tested. This and these are the check, 9 or 10 things that I checked. Um, or granted that it was on the back end AI assisted, and then I reviewed it. Would there be any value to adding that
Oh yeah,
quantifying?
no, I
Yeah,
missed that then.
context.
So yes,
Yeah,
that's always the case. Just an empty plus one really doesn't help.
right,
Besides
Yes.
saying that, okay, this person thinks this batch should be merged or something. But
right.
yeah, a helpful comment is always important. I think we've called this out in the code review, uh, you know, instructions or something like that, saying please always drop in comments.
Yeah,
Hey, I tested this. Hey, I like this. Hey, I don't like this. Or whatever you're trying to say, express it.
yeah,
Because the vote, plus one, minus one, doesn't really do much to get it. It's the plus twos and the plus W that actually, are going to do something to the workflow of a patch.
Correct.
So the vote is just an indicator to the human. Uh,
Hmm.
that's it.
Hmm.
So the text is probably going to be very helpful.
Great. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's all documented now, right? I mean, the checklist is deterministic. The agent know what they're looking for. You know what you're looking for and what you're validating. So it'd be just a matter of cut and paste. So the person has confidence. Okay, these kind of criteria, review criteria was followed, and this plus one means check, check, check. As opposed to, oh, it's just a plus one. Somebody looked at it.
Yeah, I think that there are, the whole process is what we expect. Like the bare plus ones that got them set does not help a lot. So yeah, um, pretty good. But yeah,
Perfect.
it was a nice discussion, and yes, helpful. If there are checks being done, if there is a list of things that are done as part of a review, that always helps. And yeah, we would recommend that against Bear plus one or a Bear plus two. Uh, yeah, any other thoughts on this? Yeah, I think we can go to the next one then, which is good participation in the contributor and maintainer surveys. Yes, in fact, we were the team that had most participants and most answers for us. So please do take this again. I've linked both surveys here, and yeah, please go cast your vote. It's really important. We started acting on the feedback. I, for one, started proposing one documentation, documenting things, and which we actually didn't merge yet, but I will bring that up again. But yeah, there was something that had a couple of important outcomes for the whole community, and we also had some people from the foundation coming and asking us, how do we feel, how can we fix, like things. It was really important to have all of your votes, so please vote again. Please share your thoughts on maintaining a contributor experience survey. um, yeah, that's all I wanted to add for that topic. Is there something else you'd like to add for it? All right. Next one is AI developed tools for Manila quality metrics and analysis. Yeah, really nice this one. Thanks for adding it, Vida. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think we talked about this and the next bullet, bug squash. I added those.
Yeah.
So if anybody does, wants to add anything, pretty much recap. Thanks.
Yes.
A,
And
small point about that. One is, I mean, we are going to start. We're actually going to discuss AI assisted contributions everywhere in this PTG, right? And beyond. I mean, part of it, I think, is guidelines for the community itself. And so far, there is nothing here that are changing besides what we've already adopted, which is annotating commit messages and so on. I think an important part was trying to also do this for the review process, and that's being discussed elsewhere. So I don't want to bring that up here. But one thing I wanted to check in was if we are using some tools and we find it useful, and this is for the community's sake, I think we should attribute it and share it. So that other people have access to them as well, uh, and that would be just in the spirit of everything that we do, right? Free and open source. And the other part is, if somebody doesn't want to use the AI assistants themselves, and if there are tools that we can help generate through AI assistants, but give them up to the community to actually use without AI assistance. Like for example, if you're trying to use some review tooling, bug triage tooling, whatever. Um, I mean, for sure, share such things. I mean, these don't really have to be run by AI agents. They can be run by humans as well without using an LLM, um, or any kind of LLM derived tool.
Yeah,
So
great. Hmm.
just a call out saying, yeah, we're using these tools are helpful, so let's share the tools as well.
yeah, I like the idea, and also at the uh, I was at the Neutron room earlier today, and yeah, they were talking about like possibly incorporating SKUs into their code base. But one very thing that caught my attention was they were discussing the possibility of introducing tools to handle Launchpad and help them triaging bugs, finding stuff, and dealing with Launchpad throughout the release. And that's something that this team has been doing. I've used some tools that Gotham created. Fida created some tools that she can also use. So I think this team is doing well on that, pretty well, in fact. So maybe yes, sharing this with the whole community can be a really good thing for everyone.
Yeah, I kind of jumped into line 44. That's AI knowledge base and collab as part of things needing improvement. I kind of posed that as a question if the community was open to that, right? Because individually we're added so much productivity in certain areas. If, yeah, so if the community is open to that, we could always, help facilitate and share this information because we've done a lot of work in different areas now over the past cycle for sure.
Yep, I think that would be of great use. Yes. Um, yeah. So, any other thoughts on this? Maybe yes, we should use this, and I do think this thing Gotham linked here, the Launchpad Bug Manager, could be a good thing. I've been using it. Thanks, Gotham, for working on it, and it's really helpful. I think it would also help the whole community.
I think you're cutting off, Carlos.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think the mute switched on.
oh, sorry. Can you hear any background noise on my end?
No, clear.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so that's pretty much. I was just suggesting that maybe we should have this available and chat to people, raise the awareness of this, and also document it. Add this as part of our documentation or something. So yeah. Any other thoughts on this, on the metrics, quality analysis, and all that? Yeah. Okay. So I think we can go to the next items. So we have successful bug squash. Yes, we discussed this. Uh, but at the end, yeah, we also have a couple of other items. So I do think we are short on time today. We have only 7 more minutes, and some of us will need to go to the eventlet room. And I do think we also took this approach in the previous PTG. Like we couldn't have the time to wrap up everything in a day. So are you folks okay to wrap this up in the next Manila weekly meeting if we don't have the time to finish it today? Awesome, thank you. And yeah, sorry for that happening, but I think it's a lot of things happening, and I do think these are all great topics to be discussed. So let's cover what went well, and then we can use the time from one of our upstream weekly to continue the retrospective. Uh, yeah, so we have a couple of more items. Next one being new contributor or new contribution to OSC, etc. Vida, any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, a lot of the some of the low hanging fruits and also the outreachy worked on the OSC. Basically patch sets. So that was really good. Some of the spike that you saw in the incoming fixes and work in progress was due to that. So really appreciated that work and also reviewed. Um, also they helped reviews and open new bugs. So
Yep,
that was a huge contribution.
yep, really great indeed. Yeah, so I we are currently in one of the phases that there is a selection of our outreach interns, and then we will need to also go through what like if the intern speaks. But I do hope we have an intern this round. Yeah. All right, so we have next one is new Manila UI metadata features, resource logs, policy updates, and the integration test. Yes, um, absolutely love this. This is the outcome of one of our outreach interns mostly. We have the integration test for from Yan working with us on that. But we also have, like we had Rose working with us in the Manila UI, and it was awesome to see all the progress Rose could do in this release. So yeah, really, really nice to see this, and nice to see how much the Manila UI could evolve in one cycle. I do think I talked about we talked about this with Rose as well, and we do appreciate all of the work that she's been doing. Yeah, any other thoughts on this? Okay, so going to the next one, AI assisted code reviews and contributions. Yeah, we had more assistance. We can see the increasing number of assisted by or generated by thing tag in the commit message, but also, like the code reviews, they can also be helpful for people getting used to the code base, and also finding some issues. So yeah, that was a nice thing from this cycle. Vida, something else you'd like to add?
Um, no, pretty much discussed it. Thanks, Carlos.
Awesome, thank you. Event lab removal progress. Yeah, community-wide goal. And in this cycle, in the previous cycle, we pretty much introduced the possibility of doing Manila deployments with also threading instead of eventlet, which is already a good win. We did not enable that as a default. We still have eventlet in the code base, but and we do not recommend that for production usage yet. But the word is out there, and people already know at this point that we do support this. So it was nice progress indeed, and many things being fixed. We do have some work to do as part of this release, but yeah, it's pretty much just following up on it. Gotham, would you like to share more thoughts on this?
Probably the eventlet slot, if we decide to have it during the PTG. A lot of reviews landed at the very end of the cycle, and that was probably, I mean, we just got too busy at the beginning. We felt a little more confident at the very end when we were landing these changes that we could realistically support a non-eventlet based Manila service. We were able to test it with functional testing and some unit testing. So it felt like we were rushing at the end, but at the same time, I think we did a pretty good job getting things in. So in case we were to support somebody running without eventlet in the gazpacho cycle, it is possible. But the plan was for a little bit longer than that, right? So I is when we should be defaulting to that, and um, J is when we kind of get rid of everything eventlet across OpenStack. But nothing's holding us back from defaulting to the non-eventlet approach in this cycle, and I think it just depends on how we prioritize it within the Manila team.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I do think I have a good feeling about our work on this cycle, and also the things that we merged. So yeah, most things, most reviews, as I said, I mean late, but I do trust the changes. They are behaving just fine. We also tested them with rally and stuff. So have a good feeling about them, and also the progress that we'll make. Yeah, thanks. And yeah, planning to keep the event led discussion. So we'll cover it in this week. And last but not least, shout out to the cores for quick reviews. It really helped to stay on schedule with the features. I think it was added by Sai. So yeah, thanks. And thanks for all of the cores contributing, and not only cores, like everyone that took the time to review changes and make sure that we will ship a stable release with us, I don't know, with no bugs basically. Yeah, well done everyone. Yeah, we are at the top of the time. We have the event-led discussion, and we will continue this discussion as part of the upstream weekly meeting, like the next one we hold. So I apologize for that, but yeah, it's been great discussion so far, and in the next meeting we can also match the action items and see which ones from the previous release cycle still apply. Um, but before we drop, can I ask if we can take team picture? I know most people dropped already, but yeah, I wanted to have one for it every single one of the days. So I'll stop the recording right now. And